Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is a best of one. I believe it is the round of 64 as well. It's, regardless of what round it is, it's definitely only a best of one at this stage of the tournament. Spawning in the top left position, representing Fofog, it is Multi. He is the green Protoss, facing off against the pink Zerg player representing NB, over here in the bottom right of King Sejong Station. It's Damrud. And I am liking the nuke on the top of the trophy, by the way. That is pretty slick. Is that a nuke, or is that like some Abathur evolution thing? It could actually be like a creep tumor at the top of that if you think about it. Right. So let's go ahead and get into this match. Got a hatch first coming out from Damrud. Nothing too out of the ordinary there. And we've got the gate into gas. And we can probably expect a Nexus to be plunked down fairly soon for Multi. He is sending a probe out on a scout reasonably early on in this game. So all very chilled out. And we are going to be going hatch into gas and then pool on the side of Damrud. So not going for any triple hatch shenanigans or anything like that. On a two-player map, it's very, very quickly scouted out, of course, by a Protoss player who has actually put down his natural expansion. He's just going to take a quick check to see if Damrud's being greedy here. But he isn't. So all is well. Cybernetics core gets started off at home, and the probe is going to go ahead and plonk into the base. Now, it's been quite early on in the afternoon so far. Oh, interesting chat button there. I'm not sure if I can move that, but I guess that's staying there for the duration of this game until I work out what on earth is going on there. It's going to be a long day. We have the StarCraft 2 Go4SC2 Cup, which I'm actually really looking forward to casting. I might not be saying the same thing in 4 hours' time, but hey, we'll see. And then immediately following on from that, we have the Go2 Gamers NA Weekly for Overwatch. And I'm basically going to be casting both more or less back-to-back. There's a 1 hour break in between, but in that hour break, I have to get all the overlays set up and potentially have to get some food for dinner. I suspect by the time that starts, I won't have eaten today yet. I valued my sleep maybe a little bit too much this morning. We will see. Twilight Council is going to be the tech path of choice for Multi here. And, I mean, with this much cliff face on King Sejong Station, blink potentially coming around the back, but don't forget, you can't exactly blink onto the helipad here, unfortunately. So it does actually make it a little bit more difficult to blink into the natural expansion. So this could be for some hybrid DT play a bit later on as well. That wouldn't be out of the question. And we've got some adepts popping in. And don't forget, we might be able to see the adept upgrades just to get a huge push going as well. That is also a possibility. Third base now going down for Damrud. So, yep, there we go. There is the adept upgrade from the Twilight Council. So, as we mentioned, blink, you know, not the world's greatest stability over here just because of the gaps. So, as a result, it's looking like it's going to be a pretty big two-base push with adepts. We're going to see if Damrud can scout this. With the Overlord coming in on the left-hand side, it's entirely possible that he spots it in time and gets sufficient defense up. But it's going to be pretty difficult anyway, just because of the maneuverability of the adepts. Roach Warren has gone down anyway, which is excellent news for him. It's still quite a while before he spots the Twilight Council, and we actually see a Stalker moving towards the edge of the base, more or less just as the Overlord is getting into view. Has he spotted that? Have either side spotted each other? Okay, they know the Overlord's there. He knows the Stalker's there. These guys know what they're playing at now. If they didn't see it before, they certainly do now, and Damrud has to get the heck out of dodge. Now, just a second and third gateway over here at the natural expansion right now. You know, nothing absolutely soul-destroying. We're patiently waiting for that upgrade to finish. And otherwise, all quiet on the Western Front. Things are pretty chilled out right now. The second and the third have been spotted. The Adepts are just clearing the way for a third. So it looks like it's not going to be a two-base all-in. The lack of more gateways beyond the second and third basically gives that away for us. Resonating Glaives is now complete. Both sides are going to be on 3 bases very shortly. Are we going to see an explosion followed by a massive, massive push? This is entirely possible still. Multi at the moment on 43 probes to 56 drones. And Damrud at the moment just continuing to get his macro up. We're reaching the 5-minute mark in the game now, and we are going for the Hydralisk Den. So potential for lurkers incoming a little bit later on. Trollgubber in the chat. PogCham, how's it going, buddy? Hope you're having a fantastical day. And yeah, it's been a while since I've cast some StarCraft and Go4. Life has been busy. Long story short, it involves a new job, potentially involves a new house, knock on wood. I want to get my esports room. And, yeah, just lots has been going on, especially with Overwatch as well. So I'm doing a multitude of games, and I'm really, really happy to be back casting StarCraft today. So I hope you're having a good time. Let me know how my voice compares to the in-game sounds. That's the one thing I didn't have time to check before starting. But these were, like, my default levels a couple of weeks ago, so I'm fairly certain it should be okay. The first Adept push, though, is going on, so we should probably keep chat interaction to a minimum temporarily here, and they're moving into the main base as well. And they're going to have a little bit of a tough time with this many roaches. If we take a look at the number of workers killed, you know, actually 11's not too bad. Getting down to 49 there. But the Adepts are going to have to share. If we take a look at the losses, the Zerg has lost quite a lot more, but these Adepts are pretty difficult to sort of come out en masse, especially when you're spending all your gas on sentries and stalkers. So it looks like it's not going to be a mass Adept push, which I find a little bit interesting because he did invest money in those Resonating Glaive upgrades, so we're going to see how that ends up going for him a little later on. Are these gateways? These are gateways. This is going to form part of the gateway explosion that is going to allow him to move up on 3 bases. We're going to need a lot of good force fields here because, frankly, Roaches versus Sentries is a matchup that Roaches tend to win an awful lot of the time. Multi's a little bit light on damage-dealing units right now, and even though the Mothership Core is there, there's basically no pylon to Photon Overcharge. So if these Roaches can pick off a number of the Sentry, and that's exactly what Damrud is doing right now, that's actually a pretty sick pick off for him. If he kills every Sentry and then just starts waddling home, that's completely fine in my book. And that's exactly what he's going to do. The force field's now dissipating. A large number of Sentries going down. That was a big jump in terms of units lost for Multi. Aspire, though, back home is going to be completing for Damrud. So that's going to give him a little bit more maneuverability and flexibility into what tech choice he picks later on. He's getting +1 melee as well as +1 ranged attack. And he's getting the upgrade in the Hydralisk Den as well. So there's going to be an awful lot of choices that he can make. He just needs to make sure his scouting information backs that up a little bit later on. Voice sounds crisp and Craigasmic. Thank you very much for that, buddy. And, yeah, you're going to be hearing a lot of me today. I was watching Pro League just before casting this game. And you know what? That's great. And I'm a little bit sad that I'm missing 1 or 2 of the matches. But hey-ho, you got to do what you got to do, right? All is well. And doing a little bit of scouting now is Multi. He's going to see approximately all of the tech choices are here. He will note that there's been no Lurker Den just yet, of course. We are mutating into the Hive as we speak. Mutating, evolving, insert choice of words here. And Damrud is going to get an Overseer just so he can take a look at how beautiful the exploding carcass of an Overseer is when you morph it in straight over a bunch of Stalkers. Now, there's the Lurker Den. There's the Greater Spire. We want all of the tech. If 2 nukes hit this base right now, okay, I lie, it might take like 3 or 4, but that would be disgusting. Luckily, he's not playing a Terran. Right, a couple of Zealots just going to YOLO over here into the debris. I'm not sure they know what they're getting themselves in for. They're slowly chopping away at the wall, only to realize that a comfortable number of White Walkers do lie the other side, and these Hydras are going to be saying a brief hello. No doubt. Robotics Bay going down back at home. Please let this be for Warp Prism speed, because that would be pretty sick. And we have a little bit of harass going on at the 4th base, which actually successfully takes it down. Resources lost, not too much in the way of change in the last minute or 2 in this game. Zealots continuing to YOLO. And I really don't know if they know what they're getting themselves into here, but this ain't going to be that good. Oh god. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to be waiting for that. But, they're actually helping the Zealots in. It's like, yeah bro, come on in. See if I care. Oopsie daisy. Well, I guess that gets rid of the rocks, and they know what's the other side now, so no surprises left there. 4th base getting rebuilt now on the part of Damrud as Multi. He is going double robotics facility, double disruptor. So, explosive times potentially coming in for the Protoss. And this is, oh, hang on a second. Warp Prism deciding to warp a whole bunch of nope into the base of the Zerg player right about now. But that's okay because Damrud has tabs on approximately where the Warp Prism is, and that's going to make it very difficult for Multi to get some damage in later on. It's going to be a critical part of his strategy, though. He's going to need to get the Warp Prism into the base at roughly the same time the 2 armies collide. That's going to be very important for him, unless the Warp Prism just dies, in which case it doesn't really matter. A single Stalker is inside. Wah, wah. Lonely, with no friends. Damrud is now moving out. You'll be pleased to know, in other news, the washing machine just finished its cycle, which means I am no longer competing for the loudest item in the house. So this is a bit of an interesting engagement. I'd like to see a Ling counterattack, because there's really not an awful lot to defend this fourth base right now. Even just like 12 or 16 Lings moving in over there would be great. And even over here is not too bad. There are only 2 pylons powering everything at the third, so it'd be great to see some sort of concerted counterattack from Damrud just to make sure Multi can't do what he wants to do. Whereabouts is the War Prison? The War Prison's with the army, so he's not actually going to be opening up a second front. And Broodlords mean that Multi has to make a decision. Is he going to blink in and commit? Okay, never mind. He's going to blink in and commit, and it turns out there are only 3 Broodlords in the front, so 2 of them are going to get taken out straight away. There are 2 more in the back, but not nearly enough for Damrud to commit. Oh, Jesus! That Disruptor shot could have been huge on this. Oh, my God! Yeah, there's a problem when your army is predominantly Lings and Hydras, and you don't run away from Disruptors. Oh, Jesus! That's actually disgusting. This reminds me of when I used to play Diablo 2. That's right, Diablo 2, not even 3, folks. Went into Tristram with a Nova Sorceress. There you go. How's that for the nostalgia feels? And you absolutely wreck face on everything now. I'd love to see a transfuse on the Great Aspire while these Lings swarm in. We do have 1 transfuse, but it's a little bit too late there, unfortunately. The Great Aspire is going to go down, instantly getting remade. He might want to consider making a second one as well, due to the lack of the Warp Prism defense out there in the main base. Adrenal Glands is now starting for our Zerg player as well. So we're going to be seeing an awful lot of Lings, but what really concerns me is how vulnerable this army has been so far this game to the Disruptors. It's been pretty disgusting. And we might be seeing a little bit more of that as time goes on. 3 lurkers are being made. So these armies are kind of pretty lethal to each other right now. A couple of Disruptors basically cleans all of this up, but it does an awful lot of damage in the meantime. And it looks like the reinforcements are actually going straight into the lurkers and the Broodlords. So that's going to prevent them from getting towards the Lings. A couple of the lurkers, though, instantly going down. And these Disruptors are just doing so much damage. Where's the answer for Damrud on how these Disruptors are going to do? Well, it turns out it's just pick them off with Lings at the back of your army. Jesus. Those force fields actually preventing one of the Disruptors ever getting to safety at all, and I can't say that was the world's best engagement for Multi. That might be enough, because you really need another 2 or 3 Disruptor hits to get rid of the ground army here for Damrud, and even though there aren't that many Broodlords at the moment, they're currently being a little bit unanswered because these Stalkers are otherwise occupied. And there are no more Disruptors with this army, so this leads me to be a little bit fearful for the Protoss race here. These Lurkers, though, they really should be unburrowing and planting themselves down there. Again, no good Disruptor shots are blinking in. We're going to have to commit to the rest of this engagement. He can't stay at the back because these Broodlords are just going to get infinite value the more that happens. Alright, he's blinking forward now. He realizes he needs to kill off the Broodlord, and then he can worry about the ground army later. That's exactly what he does now. Oh, 1 shot! 1 time! Okay, he does. The last Stalker picks off the last Broodlord, but now he has no answer for the Lurkers. At least we have reached a position of equilibrium here. Simultaneously, there is a bit of a counterattack over here at the third. It's just 3 Stalkers at the moment. A bunch of Lings should be able to clean that up, especially with their Adrenal Glands upgrade. They do. The Lurkers are now going to get cleaned up as well, and at the end of that melee, it's 124 supply for Multi versus 83 supply for Damrud. Damrud's so close to breaking through critically there, but isn't quite able to do so. Super sad. And as a result, I mean, he's now 40 supply down on the Protoss. Multi looks like he's actually managed to weather the storm here. And if he keeps going on this way, he's going to be able to clean up at least 2 of the Zerg bases, and that could be enough to put Multi in a checkmate position against Damrud here. We will see. Oh, no! It turns out a single Lurker, ladies and gentlemen, is going to YOLO it up, and there's absolutely nothing the Protoss can do about it. So I am mistaken. Oh, there we go. There's an Observer. And here we go, round 2. Now, a couple more Lurker cocoons being made right now. Unfortunately, they're going to slowly cocoon into the path of a couple of oncoming Observers. How many of them are there on the map? Were they all sniped off? There is still 1 Observer. It's actually all the way up here. So, there is no visibility on the Lurkers at the moment, but the base is going down in the meantime. Here comes the Observer. Will it get picked off in time? It will not. The Corruptors are kind of flying around over here, derping about. And 4 Corruptors, well, that's great. But unfortunately, the Overseer is gone, and that base is toast. And we are trying to extend our potential lead here. 127 to 71 supply in favor of Multi. Remember, this is a best of 1. If you win this game, you're through to the next round, straight up. Question from Incognition88. Will you be casting any specific games, or are you picking matches at random? I'm going to try and cast the most high-profile games I can get, but it really depends on what matches are starting. It's a round of 128 to begin this. I don't know if this is a round of 128 or around a 64 game, because I haven't double-checked the map requirements. Usually by checking the map, you can tell these things. But basically, I don't want too much in the way of downtime here, and Multi is going to be able to take the victory over Damrud in the first game of today's Go4 StarCraft 2 Cup.